Okay, we're doing number 4, pistol shot. It's an exercise called the box squat, except we're doing it one leg. This is a actual exercise that's great all on its own. We're using it to start mimicking the shape of a pistol squat and a couple of other reasons, okay? There's no real regression or progression or strict order in which that we need to work on this, because everybody has different areas in which they need to focus on. Okay, so for example, if you already did the air squats correctly, then you just need to do more reps on those, and then all of these would be bonuses depending on you know, what your specific weaknesses are or issues are. This one is great for people who are just starting out learning to squat properly, because we could go higher on the height of the bench or the table or the chair that you're using, and then we could progress that by getting lower and lower and lower. This is also a mental stability support, okay? Because a lot of times it's mentally a fear factor for people to push the hips back and then get lower and lower and lower without fear of falling over, even though in actuality it's literally sitting down. But that mental factor is huge. Now we're asking you to do it with one leg up or on one leg, so having a really nice big enough support is going to help. So get right in front of it, and just like a box squat, everything else is going to remain the same, all of the elements. Let me just talk you through with the 1 foot up. So easiest is to just have 1 foot lifted a few inches off the ground, knees bent. Harder would be if you have the leg straight and the higher the leg. Start off right from the start by engaging that standing leg. Squeeze through the glutes, press through the heels to the floor. Your heels should be fairly close to this platform. And watch, there's 2 ways. The first way, have your arms out in front, actually is going to help. The first way is to, after you hinge back, is to go ahead and lower your bum all the way down and let yourself sit down before you push through the heels and come up, okay? The other way that's going to make it a little bit different, I'll tell you what the differences are, why one's challenging or not, is to go ahead and do the same thing. So hinge back, lower, but as soon as you feel yourself hitting that chair, just tap it and then come up, instead of letting yourself sit down. So the difference in the first version is that once you are able to sit down, you get a little bit of a pause on the strength requirement. However, you then now have to execute even more, exert more strength to push from a dead weight position, okay, to stand up. And if you're doing it the way where we're just tapping, okay, you don't get a break. Okay, you're basically having to keep that tension on the whole time, because you're not letting that weight go down, but you also don't have to bring yourself up out of a dead weight situation either, okay? There's always, you know, one thing or another, advantages and disadvantages, or I wouldn't say disadvantages, but there's, you know, differences that you could take advantage of or consider in any variation, okay? Now, the other way to do this is to do one leg and finish all the reps, okay? So the benefit of doing it that way is that once you have your leg position that's doing the work, you don't have to move it, right? So you could just focus on the getting up, getting down, okay, not having to worry about repositioning that leg. Of course, then you're getting the continuous burn on the one leg. Now, if you were to keep alternating, so you get a break on the strength requirement as you switch from leg to leg, but you're going to have to work on your balance component, because every time you switch, you kind of have to reposition and reassess your balance, okay? So it's a little bit more challenging on the balance aspect and the mental aspect, okay? Now, of course, you could go with all those variations, make it harder by going lower. Start getting on lower and lower on the platform that you're sitting on behind you, okay? And remember, when you're standing up, everything from here to here, you move up in one unit, okay? Don't do this when you're down here and then you segment. You know, don't try to hoist yourself up and then bring yourself up. I know I'm exaggerating, but you will feel that little segmentation going on, okay? Keep this flat. You're pushing through that heel on the floor, pushing the floor down and away. Squeeze. Everybody at the top, you need to squeeze and fully extend that leg, okay? So you start strong, and when you end, you practically lock out, okay? Just don't lock out the knee, but you have full hip extension. Squeeze through the glutes, your quads are on, your entire leg is on, okay? That's just always the case, okay? Now, a couple more ways that you could vary this depending on where you are and what you feel like. If you hold a weight in front, okay, this is going to make it harder in terms of the strength component, of course. And of course, the further you hold the weight, the harder it's going to be, okay? Because it's going to challenge your balance and your core, okay? You could hold it closer, okay? You could hold it, my dang wonky side, especially when I'm talking. You could hold it straight up, okay? Holding the weight in front gives you an advantage if balance is your pain point, okay? This is going to act as your counterweight. Out front is going to be both strength and balance. Up here is going to be your, a little bit of thoracic mobility work, okay, as you're firing up, as well as strength. All right, there's that. One more way, it's not over. One more way you could vary this. So remember I said having the arms out in front makes things easier for balance, and it's also good IQ to focus right at the tip of your fingertips, all right? So you're not doing anything funny with your eyes. Now, if you take that component away and your hands were to go behind you, or you do it basically, look, mom, hands free, it gets a little bit harder because you don't have that counterbalancing arm in front. Now, then for no reason at all except for humor, and also as sort of, you know, a placeholder, you can grab your own butt and just do it that way, okay? That way you have something to fixate your hands on, okay? Grab your butt, just keep it there, and then you're still doing the no hands version, all right? So that's just a few of the ways that you could vary what would normally be considered a regressive squat or a modified squat, and just to milk the heck out of it, okay? All right, give it a go.